able to land a job and start the career that I'm obviously doing this degree for is really, really important to me. But getting that first job is often very difficult because as the old saying goes, you need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience, and it just goes around a bit of a circle and it gets a bit difficult. But thankfully, at Macquarie, there are heaps of measures in place to help you, build the skills you need to land your ultimate job.
Exactly. So we've got something called the Professional and Community Engagement Program, which is also known as PACE, which is where you'll receive experience integrated into your actual degree. So you'll have a subject or something like that, which will be partly a work experience, partly part of your degree, and you actually get credit for your degree by doing that internship. And what this does is really supports our student employability initiative, because Macquarie really wants our students to be able to land jobs and get good jobs once they finish. So employability and career are at the forefront of Macquarie's approach to developing sought after graduates.
I'm Kylie Ebert. I'm Director of Employability and Graduate Success here at Macquarie University, and today I have the opportunity to talk to a number of students who have either been employed or using our career services here at Macquarie so that they're on track to get their dream jobs as soon as they graduate. Today I'm here with Vishna, and Vishna works in the library. Hi Vishna, tell us a little bit about your job in the library.
Of course, so I work for the Rightwise program, which is essentially part of our learning skills unit here at Macquarie. And what we do is we essentially help students with their assignments. We help them with any part of the writing process, whether that's structure, breaking down tricky questions, helping them find research articles that are relevant. And we're really there to help to facilitate the transition to tertiary education. You definitely learn to communicate, I think, is the biggest thing. Students come to us with different needs, different levels of ability, different anxieties, and you really learn to adapt the way that you approach the same problem when it comes to suiting different people. And I've also learned to manage my time, managing it with a double degree, and it's just been a really great experience in terms of helping me grow as a person.
Joined by a graduate of Macquarie and now is lucky enough, I have to say, to work in my team. So hi Sina, how are you?
Hello, good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this discussion. Yeah, so I've pretty much began my working life at Macquarie University as well, working at Macquarie University Sport and Aquatic Centre. Yeah. I was working as a casual sports administrator.
But you've now come back to Macquarie as part of our student employment team, particularly Macquarie Student Employment Program. Can you tell me a bit about that program?
Yeah, so this is a program that will help students basically get started with their employment process. It's a program which allows us to help students with building their CVs, cover letters, prepare them for interviews, and basically gives them tips and tricks that will help them in their to start their careers and succeed in their roles.
I currently work as a student ambassador, so I got this job through the university, and essentially I would get to work on all of the events that Macquarie does and reaching out to high school students and helping them understand a little bit more about what Macquarie has to offer. So I've used the Career Hub, which is where all the job postings are listed. So I've looked for casual jobs while I'm studying at university. I've looked for internships and graduate roles as well. So that's how I've been able to find this job that I'm doing now as a student ambassador, but also my internship, which I did with Commonwealth Bank.
Oh, excellent. So you've done an internship along the way as well. How did you find that?
Yeah, it was really good. I got to do it through the summer holiday break, so it didn't interrupt my studies or anything like that, and I just got to get that real world experience, hands-on experience in a corporate environment, which was what I was really looking forward to doing at Macquarie.
Excellent. And tell me, has that led you to getting a job?
Yes, it has.
Oh, wow.
I'm happy to say. So doing that internship actually led me to receive an offer for a graduate role after when I finished this year.
So this is a job that you've now got that's directly connected and putting your degree skills into practice, isn't it? Tell me a bit about your current role.
Yep, so in the entertainment and promotions assistance job, I'm working every day coordinating events, doing the promotions, running the social media accounts for UBAR, helping out across different departments with campus life to promote and engage with students.
So how did you find out about it?
Yeah, so I found out about it through working at UBAR. I'd worked closely with the previous entertainment and promotions assistant. But yeah, I just applied online, went through the same process that everyone else did. But yeah, it was really great to get it because I've been working here for so long. It's great to work, progress through that and work with people that I have for the past 3.5 years.
Tip to success, we've mentioned definitely get involved from the first day, meet as many people as you can, get involved in social groups and societies.
I think your university experience is always, you get out what you put into it. So putting yourself out there, going to events, joining societies, all of those sorts of things will really help, you to pave your way and make your university experience the best it can be.
I definitely say get involved. You won't realise until it's too late that you haven't taken full advantage. My biggest tip, like I probably just mentioned, is to join groups and societies. Get to know people, take the initiative to talk to people that you might not necessarily talk to outside of school, and don't be stuck to your little social group. It's really important to expand and to kind of put yourself in a situation where you're not entirely comfortable, because that's where you grow and that's where you make the most of your opportunities.
Yeah, as you can see, there's a massive emphasis at Macquarie on employability and making sure you're ready to get that job. But there's also the issue of getting a job while you're studying. So to have a little talk about all that kind of stuff, Soraya's going to start us off with actually back to preparing yourself for after you graduate by talking about our PACE program. So Soraya.
Yeah, so basically PACE is professional and community engagement. As we've said, at Macquarie, we have that built into our degrees. So it's giving you the opportunity to actually get hands-on experience in the field, in your industry, before you go out into the workforce. And I guess a really good thing about that as well is, especially let's say with a teaching degree, we make sure our teachers do their practicums and make sure they get that their work experience really early on in their degree. And A, it's great so they actually get that hands-on experience, but B, it's great because they can tell if they like it or not. And so instead of finishing your degree and going ahead into one job and then you realize, oh, this isn't for me. Actually having that PACE built into the degree for all our degrees, not just with teaching how it would generally be, is great. So we all get to try it out and see if that's what we really enjoy. So currently at the moment, I'm not 100% locked in on what I want to do when I finish because I do such a broad degree. So I have that many options of what I can do when I graduate. But the PACE subject that I'm currently doing is called Community Engagement in Science. And that is a full year unit. We have one class a week where we come together and we plan programs and we discuss what's the best way to engage students and do stuff like that and run those kind of classes, which is great. So you get that actual knowledge part as well. And I guess that academic side of it. But then also on the other hand, we actually get to go into schools, or we're able to go into schools. Currently we're doing everything online, but we run engagement programs with regional and rural New South Wales students. And that's really cool, A, to just give me a better, broader understanding of the different demographics of students and what everyone needs. So it's great for me as someone doing it actually as a PACE subject, if I want to go into the science engagement kind of field after. But then also it's kind of cool because you're getting to go to these different locations that I never would have before. So that's pretty funky as well. And we actually have National Science Week next week. So we've got a boatload of activities that we're running online for students to join in on. Something else that I really, really appreciate about my PACE unit is it's linked with Indigenous education. As we've mentioned before, we have Walanga, which is our Indigenous Centre at Macquarie University, and we actually work quite closely with them as well. So that is really great, and I've actually learned so much about Indigenous knowledge and Indigenous Australia within this PACE unit. And I'm studying chemistry and music production. You wouldn't think that I would get some rich Indigenous knowledge within my degree, but there is so much extra facets to things like this when you do get to do work experience and in other kind of subjects within your degree that aren't just I guess specifically learning about content as well. So I don't know, it's made my degree feel way more broad. And then on top of that, I get to do like a media internship as well, which I'll most likely do with 2SER, which is it's Macquarie University's partner radio station with UTS, which broadcasts all the way through Sydney. And I remember once I was broadcasting on that just for like one of my assessments for my degrees, and it was a pre-record, and I was like driving the car with mum, and I like decided to turn on 2SER. Well, okay. And then and then suddenly it starts just being, and then it's just me. I just start speaking because I knew what I'd be obviously coming on. And Mum's just like, what's this? No, it's just me on the radio. So we had like an hour trip. So I was literally just talking to I was listening to myself on the radio, and I like remembered what I said. So I was like mimicking myself. But yeah, have you like in your degree, like not even just with like PACE, you get so much practical hand-on experience. Like all my assessments for music production and stuff is literally produce a song, or for radio, it's broadcast on the radio. Do you find that similar in your degree, that you do heaps of practical stuff?
Yeah. No, the practical aspect of mine has been absolutely fantastic. So we're very lucky to have the Macquarie Uni Hospital on campus, which is such a fantastic opportunity for anyone who's studying the Macquarie medicine program. But as well as that, we also have cadaver labs, which are filled with real specimens from human bodies that have been very kindly donated to science. And they're such an important thing for learning anatomy and medicine in general, because being able to actually see, touch and move something that you're trying to learn, especially when it's part of the human body, is so helpful. So we're very lucky to have that. And there's also the opportunity through that to get a job with the wet lab staff. So that's whether you're a tutor, whether you're someone who prepares all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's a bit morbid, but it's a really cool opportunity to have, but also a really good resource to have as a student. It's great to be able to have a practical class for anatomy, and I'm actually seeing the anatomy firsthand. It's phenomenal. Yeah,
like relying on a diagram or something like that instead. Yeah, that's really important. And then also like location and at Macquarie University is just great, because we are actually situated right next to the Macquarie Business Park, like in Macquarie Park. So there's like massive companies within there, like Optus and Microsoft and stuff like that. And Macquarie actually has really good connections to those companies that are within the Macquarie Business Park. So often you'll find that students have their PACE subjects or their professional and community engagement subjects with those companies as their internship component. So it's really convenient, because then their like internship is just like next door. They don't have to go somewhere for ages, like don't have to travel to like a separate location. They can like do a day worth of stuff and still come back to uni and do lectures and stuff like that if that's what they have on. But then also, because there is such great linkages between those companies and Macquarie University, when they do PACE subjects, you'll find that lots of students actually do land like graduate positions and roles in those companies as well, because they know Macquarie students are geared towards being great once we graduate, to be highly employable. So we are more sought after. So of course, like they're wanting to hire us. And if we've had experience there before, they don't need to like train us up. So that's a great opportunity as well, that it's just there. But obviously, we're both student ambassadors. That's a role. Tell me, like, why did you become a student ambassador? And also, like, what is this role, I guess, for you?
Yeah, so I became a student ambassador because I'm just really passionate about Macquarie, and I was always interested in being a part of the Macquarie community. And it's just fantastic that I'm able to now go and talk to other people who are possibly, looking at Macquarie and considering it as an option, and trying to figure out if they want to go to the uni. And it's great for me to be able to go and share my experience with them and say, hey, like, this is what I've gone through at Macquarie. This is how much I've enjoyed it. These are the things that I've experienced. And it's a really, really great opportunity. And it's also just great to have a job on campus, because, obviously there's so many options between, the food court and all the facilities, like the pool and gym, all that kind of stuff. There's pretty much jobs everywhere. And if you can't land a job, then you can get a volunteer position to get involved. And that for stuff like that, there's mentoring, there's holiday research programs. You can be a lab tech and many more, including the study-wise mentors in our library?
Yeah, so our library is actually celebrating its 10-year anniversary after opening up in 2011. And another important thing I want to mention about our library is they put sustainability and recycling at the forefront of the construction, and lots of the building at Macquarie put sustainability really high. So all the rainwater we actually collect is what we use for toilets and stuff like that, which I feel like is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so the outside of the library was it was designed inspired by the campus, and it's meant to be imitating a eucalyptus forest based on all the different colored panels and the contrasting colors. The library itself contains over 1.8 million items, with 500,000 on the shelves, and the remainder are in the automated storage and retrieval system. And I think it is very cool that a robot can bring my book to me.
Exactly. As you can see, there's 5 floors and many different environments dedicated to how you want to study. I kind of am more of like a personalized study kind of person, and I'll usually sit at one of those kind of desks by myself. Otherwise, there's heaps of pods and group spaces for you to study with your mates as well if you want. And if you aren't into books, there's also heaps of laptops and computers and things that you can borrow within the library or even take out to your lecture, which is great as well.
Yeah. So another way of developing skills for your future employment is by being involved in a student club or a society. Holding an executive position in one of these groups builds a fantastic leadership experience with organization and trying to get people to go to a certain place, which is very, very difficult a lot of the time. And you also get to have fun and meet heaps of new people. And there are just so many to choose from here at Macquarie.
Hi, my name is Sienna and I'm a current student here at Macquarie University. We're here today to talk all about student groups. University isn't just about academics and getting through your degree. It's just as important to get involved in uni life, connect with like-minded people and experience new things. Our societies and student groups here at Macquarie range from career and faculty-based groups to more social and personal interest groups. You're sure to find your tribe. The Indigenous Students, Filipino and Cheerleading Societies are just 3 examples. Now, Natasha, you're involved with the Indigenous Student Association. Would you be able to tell us more about what you offer as an association?
Sure. So the Indigenous Student Association is a cultural group for non-Indigenous and Indigenous students on campus and off campus to come together in a safe social space to learn about Indigenous Australia, learn about culture, community, and educate others who mightn't be as informed.
Yeah, so what would you say your most favourite part about being involved in this association has been?
As an Aboriginal woman, meeting more Indigenous students on campus is always a blessing, and getting to network with non-Indigenous students and Indigenous students coming together and learning and sharing from each other is super, super important.
And a very common question that we've had from students, especially during COVID, is what has been the approach to activities during COVID?
So we had a lot of face-to-face events before COVID hit, and then once everything came a little bit more smooth at the end of last year, beginning of this year. So we often do bowling, trivia, karaoke, that kind of thing face-to-face. So we've just moved that online. So instead of bowling, we're now doing bingo, and we have trivia online. And we've started doing a lot more open meetings and yarning events where students can come together and just have a chat about Indigenous Australia.
Fabulous. So, Angelo, you're part of the Filipino Student Society. Is the society just for Filipino students?
Not at all. Actually, our Filipino Student Society at the moment has non-Filipinos, so people who are not even Filipino, have a Filipino background, still have an interest in Filipino culture, and our society does really revolve around socializing and feeling really comfortable in terms of uni life as well. So I think, yes, we do have a lot of numbers coming up that are non-Filipino as well.
Awesome. And what kinds of activities do you offer?
Recently, while we were still in face-to-face mode, we had some recent events like ice skating day, welcoming gatherings as well. We do really emphasize on a lot of social events.
And as a member of the society, what's been the highlight for you?
Personally, for me, I do really enjoy the fact that our community has grown in numbers, just in terms of people who are not even Filipino, have a Filipino background, still have an interest in Filipino culture, and feeling really comfortable in terms of socializing 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 and feeling really comfortable They've shown a really great interest in our culture as well, which is really great, and even learn about other people's backgrounds as well. So it's a really great way to understand where people have come from and what people are, yeah.
Of course. And how would you say that you've kept up that connection and the vibe of the society during COVID and the restrictions?
At the moment, things are a little tough and easy to get isolated. So we do implement a lot of virtual events. So as of probably next week, I think we will be starting up our Maligayang Mondays. So that's basically just a weekly hangout sort of thing, just to have play games, and talk and socialize. We also have our main Discord at the moment as well. That is really active at the moment. Just if people want to chat or go on a call or study together, that's a great way for people to keep connected during these difficult times and to keep at it.
Awesome. So Feng, you're in the cheerleading club. Do you have to have experience in cheerleading to join?
No, you don't need any experience to join. Our coaches will teach you all the skills for all the levels that we offer in our teams.
And obviously it may sound a bit like it's in the name, but what sorts of activities do you do?
So we mostly work in our routines throughout the years, which consist of stunting, tumbling and dance, which we do train out throughout the entire season in order to compete in our 6 competitions usually within the year, while also upgrading our skills as the season progresses and our athletes become stronger and more comfortable with the skills.
Definitely. And what would you say is the most awesome thing for you about cheerleading club?
What I love about cheerleading club is that I make really great friends throughout the years of doing it, and learning new skills, keeping fit, and learning to collaboratively problem solve.
And obviously it does sound like quite an in-person and physical activity. So how would you say everyone's adapted during COVID and restrictions?
Yeah, so obviously we can't train in person, which does make it a bit hard to work on our skills, but we are still online training, working out, making sure we keep fit and running through our routines as much as possible so we can just jump straight back into it when we get back to training in person.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me, Fang, and our other society representatives. There really are so many different clubs and societies here at Macquarie. As a student, you can join as many as you like, and for me, it really adds another dimension to being at uni. You can check out some of the society videos on this page. You're sure to find your tribe.
So as you would have seen, we have heaps of clubs and societies on our campus. And I know, Luke, you are quite involved with these. Give me some highlights. What are some of the clubs and societies you're involved with?
Yeah, so I came to Macquarie, as I mentioned before, because I love the community. And so obviously, as soon as I started at the uni, I just threw myself into every single club I possibly could in one day. So that meant that I joined, admittedly, it's not the largest list, but I had a lot of other things to do. I joined the Mac Alpine Club, which is our Macquarie Uni ski club. I joined the Macquarie Uni Greek Association. I joined the Macquarie Uni Food Society, and I joined the Macquarie Uni Kanye West Appreciation Society, which cops a lot of slack. I think it's undeserved. I think it is undeserved. It's a great club. I joined all these clubs with the main goal of meeting people, except for the Alpine Society, because they have a ski trip to New Zealand, which I was like, I want to do that really bad. So I kind of joined for that, but also for meeting new people. And I think, joining all these clubs has allowed me to meet people that I never would have otherwise. Like the Ski Society, I've met such a wide range of people. The Kanye West Appreciation Society, I have
met a very wide range of people there.
Huge range of people. No, it's so many people that I never would have met otherwise. And by joining the clubs and going to their organized events, which happen like so frequently, well, don't at the moment, but which normally happens so frequently. There's all sorts of social events you can just rock up to. And just meet people, have a good time. It's really, really good. And the other thing is, if you join the right clubs, then you get discounts, which is really fun. Not meaning to plug any specific societies, but the Macquarie Uni Greek Association, 10% off U-Bar. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it?
That's very fair. That's fair. I'm honestly like, I always forget that I need to like join them because every time I'm at Ubra, I'm like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Like remember about it. It is really cool though, because like often societies will do things to like fundraise for different activities and stuff that they're coming up. So you'll see like the Greek Society always puts on like the best food whenever they've got like a food fundraiser. Ooh. Like, well, yeah, you walk down campus and you can just smell it. You're like, oh, what are they doing now? Or like if you're coming out of campus commons, like in the central courtyard, there's always like a table with like, I don't know, 700 Krispy Kremes, like they're trying to sell, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't do it, but I should.
It's always right in the way of where you're trying to walk to as well. You're like, okay, I'm going from here to here, and they put the Krispy Kremes right in the middle, directly in your eye line. You're like,
not fair.
Oh, fine.
So there's always food around, which is really, really good. And then also like, yeah, as you said, the social aspect, I find like I love like my mates, and then I've got like in my actual lectures, because then we can like talk about our content going on, but having friends from different societies, you get like friends from all walks of different areas of the university, and like different types of people but also different types of people doing different degrees. So you meet a much like vaster amount of people, which is really, really cool. I personally joined the Muso Society, and they are awesome. They've always got things going on, like different workshops on like how to play an instrument, or like a new beginners if you want to start learning a different instrument, which is really cool. They always do like open mic nights at U-Bar if you want to get joined with that and you want to have a bit of a jam, which I haven't yet, but I feel like that's like a bucket list item before I graduate. I've still got like a year and a bit. So maybe one day, if you guys like, if you come to Macquarie Uni, you might see me on have at U-Bar having a good sing. But there's like heaps of stuff. And then, so when you joined to all the societies, did you do that on like O Week or?
Yeah, I did that during O Week, which it was such a fantastic opportunity, seeing them all, lined up in their stalls. I could just walk up and talk to the people that were running them. But the other thing that I noticed during my O Week was there's actually societies for degrees in different parts of the uni. So for example, there's the Macquarie Uni Law Society, there's the Clinical Science Society, there's the Chiropractic Science Society. Those are all the ones that I can think of right now, but there's pretty much, there's societies for most degrees. And we were talking about, Soraya, you mentioned before, how when you join societies, you have the opportunity to meet people outside of your degree and across the whole uni. But by joining one of these degree specific societies, you meet much more than the small number of people that you would meet in your classes. And it's awesome to know how everyone else is going in the same degree as you, because normally they're struggling as much as you are. So if you're having an easy time, I was going to say, if you're having an easy time,
yeah, like meeting people from also different years, like different levels within their degree, can be really helpful, because then you might be able to find someone that could like help you out, because they've already done that themselves. And they do things like, I know we have like the science ball, so that's when all us science nerds can get dressed up and look pretty for a night instead of in a lab coat. And like there's stuff like they do, I think psychology, they have like a cruise and stuff like that as well, which is really awesome to get on to and just honestly have fun. Lots of people associate university with partying. I don't know why.
Well, I mean,
but it's just good because I don't know, you just build those connections, and also them being in like the same field that you are, if you can build those great friendships in these kind of chillaxed environments, in these fun environments, and then you go off into like your professional careers and like your world, you have these mates that are within the same industry as you, and that can honestly help you find jobs and stuff like that in the future, because it's like there is that saying, it's like who you know, not what you know. So like having those friendships and stuff like that as well is really, really important as you're going off into industry. And the more you talk to people that give you some sort of industry advice, it's just like network, try and find people that you can get on with, and also people that you can share information with as well. So I find that really, really important.